Welcome to Mind the Business, the business show that's here to help you. And now, here are your hosts, Ernie, Darwin, and Suzanne.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Mind the Business. I'm Suzanne Strong.
I'm Darwin.
And I'm Ernie Costello.
And today our guest is Ben Walker, and we're going to talk to him about freelancing, all different kinds of things that you need to know about being a freelancer or hiring one, and all kinds of interesting information. Ernie, can you give us a bio on Mr. Walker?
Sure. Ben Walker is a CEO, entrepreneur, and visionary leader who enjoys helping others become successful in business. Ben's company, Transcription Outsourcing, provides user-friendly and cost-effective transcription services for the medical, legal, law enforcement, and financial industries for organizations all over the world. Ben is a sought-after thought leader and has made contributions to publications like Entrepreneur Magazine, Built in Colorado, CoBiz Magazine, and LinkedIn. So, Ben, welcome to the show. Welcome to Mind the Business.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
It's good to have you, yeah.
So from what I understand, you were in the mortgage industry and you decided to break into the medical industry but couldn't find anything in it. So you went from there to freelancing. Can you tell us how what we need to do as freelancers?
Yeah, well, first of all, make sure your profiles online are all in line with each other so that there's no confusion over what you do, because a lot of times we get that from people we work with or want to work with us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I went from the mortgage industry to the medical industry because of research I had done about the medical industry and how much it was growing in anticipation of the baby boomer generation needing more and more medical care.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't get in, like you said. I couldn't find a job in the healthcare industry because I didn't have any experience. No one would hire me. I found an opportunity to become a part owner of a medical transcription company, and I bought my way in. That's how I made it into the healthcare industry.
Well,
That'll work, too.
Yep, it works.
So I went from being a loan officer at a pretty big bank to becoming basically a freelancer for all these different medical offices in and around Denver and Colorado is where I started.
Mm-hmm.
So people would send their work to me. I would get transcriptionists to transcribe it, and we would send it back to the healthcare facilities. It's kind of the easy version of what I do.
Okay.
So I became basically a freelancer for these different medical offices and then started hiring freelancers to do the work for us.
So you're basically a freelancer hiring other freelancers.
Yes.
Okay.
In a roundabout way, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So what are some of the things that, as a freelancer, that you have to watch out for?
People who, kind of sell you the moon and say they can do everything, and then they don't end up doing it. So that works on both sides. That works as us as a company and freelancers who work for us as individuals.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
If it's, the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is.
Mm-hmm.
We get that. We'll get calls from people in Florida or Texas or California, and they'll say, oh, we're going to send you, 500 hours of transcription a month, but we want this price. And they beat us up on price and beat us up, and then they send us all this work and don't pay us.
Oh, we have that problem, too.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about the freelancers you hire. So how do you screen them?
We test and vet our freelancers extensively to make sure they're the right fit.
Mm-hmm.
Because our clients require perfection. So we require perfection out of our freelancers, and some people don't like some of the feedback we give them.
Mm-hmm.
And they move on pretty quickly if they don't like what we're telling them in regards to literally perfection, 99+% accurate.
Okay. Yeah, because the medical field needs to be accurate.
Yeah, not only the medical field. Think about witness interviews or suspect
Right.
interviews
Yeah.
that
Oh.
lead to, jail time for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then even in the academic world, when we work with like University of Colorado or NYU in Manhattan, they're conducting tons of research and they need accurate data.
Mm-hmm.
So we transcribe focus groups and interviews verbatim so that they can pull out the data they need to make the right conclusions with their research.
Okay. Okay. So they need to be fast and accurate.
Yes, because
Okay.
they get paid on, like, if we send them a 60-minute file, they get $60 as an example. If it takes them 4 hours, it takes them 4 hours. They made $15 an hour. If it takes them 3, they make $20 an hour.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
So where do you find these freelancers?
Yeah.
We post on job boards for freelancers and work at home type websites.
Okay.
They'll come to us. A lot of times they find us via Google search as well. We get probably 3 to 5 a day from all over the world.
Oh, wow.
Now, on the other hand, if I was looking for freelance work and I came across your company, what should I be looking for as a freelancer, or at any employer or at any potential employers?
I would look at probably sites linking into them. If you were looking for verification that this is a legit company, I'd probably do a little research and Google the name of the company, Google maybe reviews after that. So transcription outsourcing reviews, transcription outsourcing media to see if they have media mentions, because there are a ton of companies like mine out there.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of them answer the phone. Not all of them have good reputations. It's the trust but verify.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's best to, on both sides, you do your homework, and if a transcriber wants to work for a company, they should do their homework as well in finding a reputable company as much as you want to find a reputable transcriber.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's in your best interest, I think.
Yeah.
So do you look like like at sites like LinkedIn or any of the other social media companies?
Yeah, almost all. Well, yes, every time, because then we run background checks, criminal background checks as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. How much does that cost?
Yeah.
Wow.
The ones that we do are $50 each.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So if you have a big project, that's not much of a cost then to get a good freelancer.
No, it's not, and it makes us feel better when we're sending them very sensitive information from either a doctor's office or a closed hearing in a courthouse somewhere.
Okay, now you see why the checks. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're spending $50 per applicant, how many do you narrow them down to?
Well, those are for the applicants that make it through our testing first.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
What kind of testing do they go through?
It's first how quickly they respond to our emails.
Okay.
So they'll apply on our website, and then I'll forward the email to the right person in my office. And then they respond via email. I understand you're interested, and then we see how quickly they respond to that. If it's a week, then we know they're not really that interested. We'll still send them the test, but we kind of move them to one category of they're maybe. If they respond quickly and they're interested, they sometimes pick up the phone and call us, although we don't like when they do that because then we get flooded with phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll send them tests, and the tests are not easy. It's a grammar test, punctuation, homonyms and sound-alikes, and they've got to get a 95 or above.
Okay, so it's a detail-oriented test.
That, and then we send them 2 audio files, one from a suspect or a witness interview that is a pretty gruesome crime, to see how they take that also.
Okay.
Ooh.
And then we send them a patent law test that has terminology that is very difficult. So you've got to look it up and do the research to make sure you're putting the right words in.
Well, if you're sending them audio files from an actual case, do you send them a non-disclosure agreement first? Because
Yeah, don't spread this around, right?
Yeah.
Well, you'd think we would need to do that, but we actually eliminate all the names so they don't know who it's about.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
gotcha.
Okay.
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 Yeah,
So they're
no names, no locations.
So they're redacted.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk some more about freelancing. You're listening to Mind the Business Radio, and you can go to our website, learn more about us at www.mindthebusinessradio.com. And you can also listen to our shows there. Plus, you can listen to our shows on iHeartRadio and Spotify and iTunes. This is Mind the Business, and we'll be right back right after this. Jaybird Designs is a photographic design company offering beautiful photography that can be printed on almost anything, like wraparound canvases, coffee mugs, t-shirts. We offer great gift ideas for your family and friends. Go to www.zazzle.com/Jaybird-Designs. That's www.zazzle.com/Jaybird-Designs. All right, everybody, welcome back to this edition of Mind the Business Radio. I'm Darwin.
I'm Ernie.
And I'm Suzanne. Thank you for listening.
And we're talking about freelancing. So let's continue the discussion. Ernie.
Yes, we're talking to Ben Walker, who is the CEO of Transcription Outsourcing. And so, Ben, we were talking about freelancing. And when you're starting off as a freelancer, how do you get the word out there about your skills and the type of work you do?
The way we get the word out, and the way I've noticed other freelancers and freelancing companies do, is through public relations. And there's a few different ways that we've done it in the past that worked for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And one is LinkedIn, and using LinkedIn properly.
Mm-hmm.
Not being overwhelming, but posting good, informative content and making good, informative comments when something comes up that you can correlate with and create a relationship between you and them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Another avenue we've used in the past that it took a while before we got good at it was Haro, Haro. You've probably heard of it.
Yes.
Help a reporter out.
Yeah.
Once we kind of figured that out, that became a really good tool for us, and it got us in Associated Press articles, Inc. magazine, Entrepreneur, a whole bunch of mentions in different publications that I didn't even know existed.
Okay. Was that pretty difficult to learn, or is that a hard program?
Well, I mean, we dedicated 3 times a day to look at all of the Haro requests.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to literally set aside 30 minutes at least once a day, if not more, to read them, analyze them, and then reply, and learn how to reply so that they would pick you.
Okay.
We also, and replying right away was huge for us. We learned that if they come out at 5:30 in the morning, I believe, I'm in Denver, so I think it was 5:30 our time. If we replied by 6:30 a.m., we were usually in the first probably 10 to 20 replies, and they read those. But once they get to 100, They can't read all of those.
No, it's
No.
impossible.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Hmm.
Yeah.
So what are the best times to do it?
Oh, right when they come out. So 5:30 in the morning our time. Then the next one was right around 11 a.m. and the next one after that was around 3:30 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. And are you talking like Eastern time or all over the country?
That's mountain time.
Okay.
Those times
Okay.
I gave you.
Okay. So we just have to do it at those times in our own time zone. then.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it really worked for us. And learning how to reply to the people was huge. Like using their first name, thanking them for the opportunity, and spinning it so that it related to you. So we would reply to a lot of different kinds of requests and relate it back to us and why we should be chosen.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so that was a little bit of a learning process, but once you got it figured out, it, like you said, it was huge for you guys.
Yes, it was. It got us into, like I said, a lot of big publications.
Okay.
So how much time do you have to spend, on social media or other sites like Haru and LinkedIn during the day to get the publicity you need?
At least an hour.
Oh,
And I know that sounds like a lot, but it needs to be a good hour, not scrolling through your feed, like clicking on cat videos.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
No, that's mindless.
Yeah.
So you've got to, concentrate and click on the right things and comment carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're commenting on these things, maybe you before you hit enter, you should reread it and look at it, make sure it makes sense, and it's all written well and everything, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially being a transcription company, we can't have mistakes in our posts.
Yeah, well, yeah, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's true.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I read it out loud to myself. I know people walking by my office may think I'm a little nuts, but I read it out loud to myself before I press enter.
Okay.
Good thinking. Good thinking.
So, being a transcription company, you have to be super careful about what you put out there, and what you write. But what about the everyday person who is freelancing, but maybe they don't want to do transcriptions, and maybe they just want to write a blog?
It depends on your angle you want to take. We don't take sides in any particular story or controversy because, we have law enforcement clients that tend to be, more toward the right, and then we have academic, institutions that tend to be more to the left. So we're really careful about not going one way or the other. We like all our clients regardless of what they think or how they work.
Well, that's that's always the best way of going about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So basically, yeah.
I do know some freelancers that will go one way, and it will polarize that side of the right or the left, and then they get tons of work from it, but they only get it from one side.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So basically, if you have a business website or even a Facebook page or LinkedIn page, you don't post political views or you don't post religious views or anything that polarizes people.
Exactly. Unless you want to go after that niche, then you can. Because like I said, I know freelance writers that they're extremely opinionated and they're really good writers. They're only going to get work from that side because that's who they're appealing to.
You're probably best to keep it
Neutral.
keep it neutral as possible, so you can get double the work, because that way you get work from both sides. Or all three sides, because of the people in the middle. Yeah, it's hard.
Or you just stay neutral.
Yeah, exactly. It must be difficult to to do that, because that's why you have to, even if you're just writing, you can have a tendency to lean towards one side, and that's why you have to really proof what you're writing so you can keep it right down the straight and narrow, right?
That's why he reads it out loud. Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we'll get calls from the district attorney's office, and then we'll get calls from the public defender's office, and it might be about the same case. So we don't tell them we're working with the other.
Yeah,
That would not be good. Yes.
that's not a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that it would affect the outcome.
Yeah.
We're still going to transcribe everything as they ask us to.
Uh-huh.
We just don't want them to think we're,
Yeah, but
always working with one side and maybe putting their stuff at the end of the day as opposed to doing it right now.
Yeah.
But
okay.
but once you get into court, don't they find that out anyway? That you yeah.
It depends if they leave our logos on the transcripts when they print it.
So don't leave logos on.
It's up to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we give them both the same product,
Yeah.
they won't. They'll see that the transcripts are identical, and a lot of times, if someone calls and says we're calling about this case, and we've already done the transcript, we just email it to them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to take another break here. You're listening to Mind the Business Radio. I'm Darwin.
I'm Ernie.
And I'm Suzanne.
And we'll be right back right after this.
How would you like to take your business performance to the next level, work less, and gain more personal freedom? If the answer to any of these is yes, then you need to connect with John Owens of John Owens International. Using his business breakthrough formula, John will show you how to bring more structure, growth, and freedom to your business, whether you are just starting out or are already earning millions of dollars per year. Working with John will not only transform your business, it will transform your life. You can contact John for a free, no obligation consult by email at john@jo-international.com or connect with him on Facebook at John Owens NZ. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Mind the Business. I'm Suzanne.
I'm Darwin.
And I'm Ernie.
And I'd like to send a shout out to our friends and our listeners in Ecuador. Thank you for listening. We are talking today with Ben Walker, whose company is called Transcription Outsourcing. And Ben decided to leave the exciting world of mortgage banking, and now he lines up transcription and freelance transcriptioners for, oh my goodness, the courts, the police, probably the FBI, more people than I would care to know about. But Ben, we're going to leave freelancing, and Ernie has the new topic for this segment. Ernie, can you fill us in?
Yeah, it's navigating the world of RFPs, and we're kind of familiar with that because we have a video production business.
Yeah,
and we deal with a lot of municipalities, and before you can work for them, you have to fill out these thick.
Tell me about it.
This stack of thick forms, and so
it's like a novel.
Is there any easy way to go through that?
It depends if you want to be awarded the contract or not.
Yeah.
So what kind of so could you go ahead and explain what an RFP is?
Yeah, an RFP is an acronym for Request for Proposal that government entities all over the U.S. will put out when they're looking for a particular service or product.
Mm-hmm. And what goes into an RFP?
From our side, it's a ton of reading and reading comprehension to make sure we understand what they're actually looking for, because they're all slightly different, as you know, because you guys reply to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
The wording from Missouri could be way different than the wording from an RFP in Kansas and their neighbors. And it could be Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. And they might be looking for the same thing, they just say it differently.
Yeah. And because from what I've seen, it's really comprehensive, the RFPs that you have to fill out. And then even if you pass, you have to write
another one.
You have to write another proposal.
Yeah, I know.
And they're time consuming. If you do it right, I mean, we spend, we've replied to probably over 100 RFPs that we were comfortable with in the past 7.5 years, that we knew that we could fulfill all the obligations. So we have 100 examples, and you can copy and paste, but then you have to also individualize it and customize it for that specific RFP, those people involved in those states or cities or counties, to make sure that you get across that you understand this and you want to be awarded this.
What's the hardest part about the RFP?
I would say the customizing it and making it so that, going back to the previous example, the Kansas City, Kansas people know that you're not copying and pasting this, that you really want this contract that is for Kansas City, Kansas, and those particular people. Because you get those emails that get sent to 100,000 people, and you can tell it's a form email.
Yeah.
Or some people will just Google sample RFP.
Yeah.
No, we
just
hope not.
Paste their names and
send it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think one of the things that people need to realize, if you're going out for a city contract or a county contract, that it's not going to happen overnight. I mean, you could fill out your RFP, send it in to them, and not hear anything for months. Because they're going to sit on it, they're going to look at it, they're going to look at it via committee.
It goes to a council of some sort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
you have to go to that council when they're approving it and answer all their questions.
Ernie did that with one of the contracts we got for a city here in the Southern California area, but it took a lot of work. And even though when you're awarded the contract, it can still be a hassle.
Yeah, because they're going to call and confirm everything, and if you hesitate on anything, it freaks them out.
Yeah, it does. And it's something that does, like I say, it's just something that doesn't happen overnight, because they're doing their homework, dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and the people applying for the RFP or filling out the RFP have to do the same thing. I mean, it's got to be perfect.
Yeah, and most of those RFPs will say that you guarantee these prices and these terms for 90 or 120 or 150 days. So that means it's going to be at least 3 months if it's 90 days. And they will take all 3 months to do what you said.
They will.
Yeah. So I know, and especially there are some requirements that go with an RFP, especially like liability insurance. What other requirements do are normal for an RFP?
What's becoming really normal now is cyber liability.
Ooh.
Oh my. Okay.
And those policies can get expensive.
Oh, okay.
So what's the content of a cyber liability?
It's going to cover data breaches and hacking. And even if we're not hosting the data, some of our clients still require us to have cyber liability. I don't know how it would ever cover the situations that they hypothesize.
So they come up with every little thing. It could be ridiculous. It could be,
hey, you never know.
Yeah.
I think that they're making sure they cover every angle possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't blame them because of what's happened. It's just, it becomes expensive for us as the vendor.
Well, yeah, because if they send you back, if you send that RFP to the insurance company, that's a big policy.
Well,
it's yeah.
And my question is do the insurance companies, can you get a blanket policy that would cover liability and the internet? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and most general liability policies have built-in cyber liability of 500,000. The problem is they're all asking for $1 million plus. So that's when it kicks in, and you've got to go get a new policy that's a separate one, standalone.
Yeah, and if you use your vehicle, that's another.
That's another
policy you have to get. Yeah, and then also, the normal policies are general liability, errors, and omissions, right?
Yes. For us, yes.
Yeah, because you're a transcription company, so you need to have errors and omissions insurance.
Yep. And we do.
But if you have your own equipment, too, that you're going to use on the job, that's also got to be covered.
Well, I think those, I've seen that in the RFPs, and we've never, ever addressed that because we use computers and foot pedals and keyboards.
Yeah.
I think that's always, or not always, but I think they're usually referring to construction when they talk about that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like us when we go out with tripods and cameras and lights and things like that.
So what's the most unusual thing you've seen in an RFP?
The pricing. I saw it was in an RFP. I don't want to say the name of the state. It was a big state agency, and they listed the price, and they required everyone to reply using a pricing method that I have never seen that was very bad for the state.
Wow.
They could be taken advantage of the way they asked everyone to reply in this pricing method. And I actually called them and I said, "Are you sure you want us to reply using this method?" And they said yes. And I explained to the guy on the phone that it could be interpreted a couple different ways and that I would suggest he use a different method. And he said it was too late. The RFP was already issued, and they went with it. Yeah.
Oh man. So I guess what we're trying to say is if you're trying to get a government contract, it's not going to be quick.
It's not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy. It's going to be very detailed, and you better have enough money in the bank to cover the insurance requirements, whatever they may be.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to take another break right now. You're listening to Mind the Business Radio. And Ernie, why don't you tell everybody again how they can get a hold of us?
Okay. They can listen to this show and previous ones on mindthebusinessradio.com, iHeart, Spotify, and iTunes.
All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right after this. Jaybird Designs is a photographic design company offering beautiful photography that can be printed on almost anything, like wraparound canvases, coffee mugs, t-shirts. We offer great gift ideas for your family and friends. Go to www.zazzle.com/jbirddesigns. That's www.zazzle.com/jbirddesigns.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Mind the Business. I'm Ernie.
I'm Darwin.
And I'm Suzanne.
And today we've been talking to Ben Walker, who's the CEO of Transcription Outsourcing. And we've been talking about freelancing, PR on a budget, and dealing with requests for proposals. So, Ben, could you tell us a little bit about your company there?
Yeah, we, like I mentioned earlier, started as a medical transcription company 7.5 years ago. And about 3 years in, I noticed that we were losing medical clients. And it
Oh.
was of no fault of our own. Things were changing in the medical industry, namely medical practices and facilities were switching to digital. So they were buying
Ah.
EHRs, electronic health record
Okay.
systems.
All right.
And I don't have a resume, and I didn't want to go work for someone else again. So we started researching some of the opportunities that were being presented to us when people would call from law firms or law enforcement agencies. I didn't know that world existed. So we started researching legal transcription, law enforcement transcription, and we found out that there was a big growing need for that.
And well, and there's also lawsuits, depositions.
Sure, all that good
Yeah.
stuff. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly right. When we found out that a lot of depositions are being transcribed, not all of them, but a lot of them are, and there aren't enough court reporters to go around. So now a lot of depositions are being recorded by videographers. And if they order a transcript later, they need someone to transcribe it. Again, there aren't enough court reporters, so that's where we step in and can transcribe depositions and certify them just like a court reporter can, because we have the necessary insurance for it.
Okay. So basically, you saw some business, leaving, and you just decided, we can't have this. So you went out after other avenues, other branches for transcriptions.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because, like I said, I don't have a resume. I didn't want to close the doors.
Yeah.
We had clients that liked us. I can't just up and leave them. Then they're left in a lurch and don't know what to do.
So you took a risk.
A little bit. It was calculated. We did some research and thankfully found that the profit margins were better than medical.
Oh, there you go. Well, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I've heard
So-
lawyers have a tendency to make more money than. Now, I'm not swearing to that, but I've heard that.
Well, and unfortunately for their clients, the costs usually get passed along.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because if you're dealing with a lawyer, you're dealing with prosecutions and defendants and different transcriptions going on there and stuff, and I imagine that really has to be detailed. Like you said, if it means someone going to jail or not, and it's up to a minor word change and stuff, that could be serious.
It is serious. You're right. And the same thing in civil court, if it's a deposition for a lawsuit. Yeah,
Okay.
things can turn based on a transcript.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because the wrong word can win or lose the case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it can change the context of an argument or of a deposition.
Well,
Do you have, when you finish a transcript, do you have other eyes checking it out, before it goes back?
It depends on the audio quality and the client. What they're looking for. A certified transcript, yes, because we've got to make sure it's our reputation on the line, and quite honestly, the company's existence is on the line.
What do you do when the audio quality isn't quite there, or the person talking has a tendency to talk so fast that you don't understand some of the words and stuff? How do you deal with that?
We'll insert inaudible in parentheses, and then we timestamp it so that if they want to check it, they can jump ahead to it.
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's safe.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
I didn't think of that either. It's good to know.
It's a funny because I have read, depositions, and I've seen that.
I've seen the word inaudible. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And that protects you guys, right? Because if you can't make out the word, what can you do?
Yeah, and we don't want to guess because it could put something at risk.
Okay.
Do you do foreign transcriptions? Do you have people that understand other languages and stuff?
We do a little Spanish translation, not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's for current clients that we have good relationships with.
Okay.
We don't advertise it though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see why you may not have enough Spanish speakers.
Exactly.
I know. Yeah. That's like
It's not that. It's just that's a different world.
Uh-huh.
And there are a lot of translation companies out there that we've met along the way that we refer to. We refer them out when people ask for specific stuff.
Okay.
Now, I was noticing on your website, and I know you do medical and legal, but you also do a lot of other transcriptions too. I saw the word podcast. So you do other things other than the heavy-duty legal and medical stuff.
Yes, we do. We transcribe for a number of different podcasts, a number of different universities that conduct research.
Okay.
We've done oral histories for an oil and gas company in downtown Denver that was having its 75th anniversary and did a bunch of interviews with the original founders, or they dug up those old tapes, and then they did the current employees, and they put together this cool montage video. We've done authors writing books.
Okay.
Okay.
Journalists, you name it.
All right.
So how about closed captioning?
We've done a little of that. We don't, kind of like the translation thing, we don't advertise it because that's not really our specialty.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow, it sounds like you guys are pretty busy right now, so things have probably picked up and you're doing really well.
Yeah, we're busy. We get inquiries from all over the country almost on a daily basis. It's kind of fun. They're all different projects.
Yeah, so how many freelancers do you currently hire?
Right now we have 35 at least scattered around the U.S.
Okay.
That are transcribing, and we're trying to add more right now. We've got some new clients that need some more people on them.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take another break, and then we're going to...
Oh, is it time?
It's time, and we're going to come back and find out how people can get a hold of Ben Walker and take advantage of his business transcriptions and stuff. So this is Mind Your Business Radio, and we will be right back right after this.
How would you like to take your business performance to the next level, work less, and gain more personal freedom? If the answer to any of these is yes, then you need to connect with John Owens of John Owens International. Using his business breakthrough formula, John will show you how to bring more structure, growth, and freedom to your business, whether you are just starting out or are already earning millions of dollars per year. Working with John will not only transform your business, it will transform your life. You can contact John for a free, no obligation consult by email at john@jo-international.com or connect with him on Facebook at John Owens NZ. Welcome back, everybody, to Mind the Business. We're talking today about freelancing and transcription, and we're talking to Ben Walker. And Ben, I just had a question in the background. Let's say I'm a stay-at-home mom, and all of a sudden the kids are, going to college or going to high school, and I don't need to take so much care of them. And I've decided, hey, is there something I can do from home to make a little extra income? Am I a good candidate to be a freelance transcriber?
It depends how good you are at typing and your attention to detail.
Okay.
We do get quite a few applicants in similar situations. And we, like I said earlier, we test and vet pretty extensively to make sure you're a right fit for us and our clients.
So
we don't always hire people without experience. It just depends how well they do on the test.
Okay, I got you.
So what's the what's the fastest transcription rate you've seen so far?
Oh man, we have a gentleman in Michigan that is really fast. He will turn around. I want to say it was 2 weeks ago. We had an 8-hour court hearing. We got at 3:30 in the afternoon, and the client needed it by noon the next day.
Wow.
And he got it done.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
That's an
Okay, there's
8-hour
a
day.
talent.
There's this thing called text expanders. If you're not aware of them, Microsoft Word has it built in, and he takes great advantage of text expanders. I bet he's got between 2,000 and 2,500 memorized.
Wow.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe we can test Derny.
Well, I'm still working on that. I'm still
that
working on that
first
first show.
Yeah. I know.
So anyway, Ben, if people need, people need your transcription.
Yeah, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, what do they do?
You can find us online at www.transcriptionoutsourcing.net.
Okay.
On Twitter at Data Transcriber or Benjamin K. Walker, and on LinkedIn it's Ben K. Walker.
Mm-hmm.
We do a little Facebook, not as much. It hasn't proven to be as fruitful as LinkedIn has.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I can tell you that I probably wouldn't be good because my typing skills and my attention to detail lacks.
Yeah, because his two index fingers are his typing skills.
Exactly.
Come on, he's a broadcaster. What
I'm
do
a
you want?
broadcaster. Yeah, that's all I do.
He has an Underwood typewriter,
I do have an Underwood typewriter. So it's probably not okay to send in carbon copies to you. So.
No, Ben's not going to hire you. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Oh,
Ben,
well.
it's been a great show. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
And anybody, I'm pretty sure that you can get a hold of Ben. One more time for that website.
It's www.transcriptionoutsourcing.net.
Okay, transcriptionoutsourcing.net.
We're going to put that link on our website so people can go right to it if they need to. So we're going to try to make it easy for anybody who wants to use your service to go ahead and do it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. You have been listening to Mind the Business Radio with our guest, Ben Walker, and we have had a heck of a good time, and we've learned a lot. And
we've learned we're not good transcribers.
Yeah, we're not good transcribers. Okay, we're good talkers. We're just not good at writing it down. Anyway, and we'll keep you updated on the transcription that Ernie's working on. It could be another year or so.
It's handwritten.
It's handwritten, but
Number 2
we'll
pencil.
do the best we can. Anyway, Ben, thank you for being on our show. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, you take care. This is Mind the Business Radio, and we'll catch you next time.
Mind the Business is a Skyline MediaCast production in association with Taylor Pacific Video. Your producer is Suzanne Strong.